Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club. Today I'm making a layout using the June kit still. My July ones are on their way, hooray! I'm using the main kit, the Pocket Life kit, and the embellishment kit too. I've not used the colour kit today. And my layout today is based on this month's mood board, so July's mood board. I was particularly inspired by the paint circles down the bottom and the circles in the square on the right, and there's stars and there's hearts. Well, it's all things that I love. So and my other assignment for today was to use lots of circles, die cut or punched on the page. So I'm going circle crazy today, and I've even cut my photo into a circle as well, which is something that I literally never ever do. So my photo is a circle, which I've done with my Big Shot and a Sizzix die, and then while I was looking for my circle dies to do the circle with, the photo with, I took a look and noticed that I have got that lovely Tim Holtz concertina pinwheel thing. I don't know what it's called. Rosette, I think they're called rosettes. So anyway, I thought, well, they're circles, and that would be fun to make lots of those to go across the page. So my direction totally changed here, because I was just going to use my punches and maybe a few bigger circles from the Sizzix dies, the nesting dies, but then I totally went in another direction and decided to go for these rosettes. So I cut a whole bunch from the different pattern papers in this month's kit. So basically I have a lot of this month's kit left over, a lot of paper for some reason. Normally I devour my paper, but for some reason I had a ton of it left over. So you can see here that I have made lots and lots of strips using the rosette die, and I'm just going to build those rosettes. I'm using a hot glue gun to put them together, and I've cut the die itself comes with the middle piece for the rosette there. You can see that I've just put some hot glue on there and stuck it straight down, but I need also to put a disc on the back too, and any punch circle will do for that. So that's what I've done there. So I'm not going to make you watch me create all of these rosettes. I'm going to do them off camera. I realised at this point that my plan was to put different middles onto the different patterns. So if I have a blue outline, I was going to have like an orange centre, but on my first one that I made, the pink one, I've used the coordinating pattern paper to go with it. So silly me, and there's just no way of getting that glue off, so that hot glue gun off. So there you go. So I've punched a whole bunch of circles there to go on the backs of those. Here's my rosettes all done. You can see that I've got quite a few going on there, probably a few too many actually, but I love them so much I'm going to use them all. I'm just going through now, just using my punches. I have 5 different shapes, I was going to say. No, they're all circles. 5 different sizes of punches there. So I'm just cutting those out of all the different pattern papers that I've used, and some more. I'm using the journaling cards as well to cut some from as well. So yeah, lots and lots of different patterns and bright colours going on in this layout. That's another thing I wanted to take from the mood board, was all the bright colours, because there's loads of fantastic bright colours on that layout. It's basically a rainbow. So I'm now trying to figure out what to do with my photo. It needs a mount, but that was the biggest of the nesting dies that I'd got there, so I have just stuck it onto a piece of blue paper and trimmed around it very carefully. Perhaps maybe should have done it in white, but actually I quite like the blue, so all is good. Okay, so I want some of these rosettes to come off of the edge of the page, so I wasn't quite sure how well they would cut in half, and as suspected, they didn't cut in half very well. So I had to do a little bit of minor repair to that rosette where I'd cut it in half, and I'm going to trim one on the other side as well, but actually that one works better because I wasn't going through the whole centre. So yeah, I'm still going with my circles. I have lots and lots of circles going on here. I've got some really teeny tiny ones, which is a 1/2 inch circle punch, and then some slightly bigger ones at 3/4, and I have some bigger ones at 1 inch, and some much bigger ones at 1 1/4 and 1 3/4 or 3/8 or something like that. Anyway, so some of them nest, and I wanted to build up different layers of papers. and some of them I wanted to be random and kind of splattered around all over the place. I'm working on a background of marshmallow cardstock because I thought I was going to add some mixed media to this page. I was going to add some in the background, and then I was going to add splatters on top as well. Well, actually in the end I did neither. So I ended up with wasting effectively a sheet of marshmallow cardstock, which is at the moment in the UK like gold dust. No one can get hold of any of it. So I was delighted to get a few sheets in my hip kit this month because there is literally a massive shortage of marshmallow going on. So yeah, I really shouldn't have wasted a sheet there, but hey, because any cardstock would have done. But there you go, these things happen, and I'm sure I'll get some soon. So yeah, I'm still carrying on with my layering up of my circles. So I've cut, so I'm just basically trying to stick them together now. So some of my circle punches are pretty old, and they don't cut as cleanly as they used to. So some of my circles ended up with white edges. So on those ones, I'm inking the edges in black ink pad, or it's actually dark grey, but it just gives it covers up the white for a start, and it just gives these circles a bit more definition. I haven't needed to do that on all of them, just the ones where the white was showing, and on some where I wanted to because the edges didn't look right or whatever. But yeah, mostly I'm trying to layer most of my circles. There are some completely on their own, but generally I'm trying to layer them up. I want to get everything stuck in place now so I can go around and stick on all of my rosettes, get my photo in place, and then add to the embellishments. And at the moment everything is loose, so I'm going around sticking the circles to circles, and I'm now starting to stick the rosettes to the background as well, and some of the circles to the background too. Some I'm raising on foam pads, some I'm sticking flat. The rosettes I'm obviously sticking flat because they are pretty tall already, and I'm using a hot glue gun to stick those down. I usually use glossy accents, but I have my hot glue gun right next to me ready to go, so I thought I would do that. Now I've got a bit of a problem here with my photo because it's on a different, I want the rosettes to sit behind my photo, but I wanted one over the top of it because I'd got 10 months actually on the photo, but I want to cover up the word months because I'm going to put that in thickers, and also it's because the die cut for the circle wasn't big enough to cut out the whole thing, so therefore I'm just having to cut that down. So the half of the rosette that I cut off earlier and discarded, I grabbed it out of my bin and I stuck it underneath my photo so that my photo was at the same height as the rosette that it sits on, so that was a good little tip there to make sure that your photo is the same level, and then I could just stick another rosette on top, and that one does now go at an angle because it's sticking on the top section sticks to the photo and the bottom section sticks to the cardstock, so they're different heights, but with the hot glue gun it works perfectly well. So yeah, okay, so I'm still sticking, so that rosette on the right hand side worked better when I cut it in half. Sorry, on the left hand side worked much better when I cut it off of it wasn't even in half, but it did mess up the pinked circle in the middle slightly, so I've just cut another circle from pattern paper and stuck it over the top, sliced off the edge just so that it gives the same look, but actually that covers up all the damage that was caused by cutting it in half anyway, so that worked out really well. That looks pretty good, so yeah, I'm just carrying on sticking these circles. It took me ages to get all these stuck down and in the right place. I moved them around as well when I was sticking. Obviously I take them off in order to apply glue, and then I stick them back in a slightly different place. So anyway, the layout is coming together now. The background is nearly complete, and as soon as all of my circles are stuck down, then I will start thinking about what other embellishments I can add to this layout. So there you go, they're all stuck in place now. I'm just going to trim off that circle on the left hand side, I like my circles to come off the edge of the page because I feel that it gives a more random look. It doesn't look like I'm trying to contain it within the 12 by 12. It kind of looks like the circles are floating across the page, and that's a good snapshot. It gives good continuity, I think, to have some half on and half off. So I've just tidied away all my pattern paper there, and I'm pulling out some stickers to go on this layout as well. I have the Vicki Boutin chipboard thicker things, and they were in the embellishment kit, and they have loads of circles on, so I thought I'd use all of those circles that I could. I've just realised that the M from months on my photo is sticking out slightly, so I've taken a dark little tiny circle, inked the edges, and stuck that over the top of that and underneath my rosette, so you can't see it too much. So that covers up that problem as well. Now you can see it's completely gone. And now I want to add in the word months, and of course I've stuck way too many circles in the place that I want to add my title, silly me. So I've just removed them all, added the title using those fabulous pink paisley, indigo and ivy navy thickers. And then I can add my circles back in. So I'd already added I'd put foam pads on them, and they left a residue, so that's what I'm trying to wipe off. And I've had to reapply foam pads, the ones I want to re-stick as well. So moving on to the Shimelle thickers, those sparkly thickers from Sparkle City. Those they're silver with a pink core, foam core, and they have got loads of circles on too, and stars, and there's stars on the mood board too, so that was perfect. I wanted to bring in stars, and I also want to bring in some hearts as well, so I'm now bringing in the Amy Tangerine little enamel hearts there too. So I'm really just kind of going crazy here and adding in loads and loads. I love the layers on the rosettes because they've all got the rosette, the pink circle, and then another 2 punch circles, and most of them have also now got a Shimelle circle or a star plus an Amy Tangerine enamel heart too. So everything has lots and lots of decoration, lots and lots of layers on each of those circles. I also had some circles on the Vicki Boutin puffy stickers, so I'm just going through and adding in those as well. And yeah, that is me pretty much done. I was going to add splatters, and then I thought, no, I've got way too much going on this layer already, so I'm going to leave it there. So that's the 10-month photo for my little baby, and a nice bright circle layout to document that. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.